Field techs have to fail a lot. Then they have to recover, figure it out, and try again. It's the recovery part that's hard. Pride and ego can get in the way. It's pretty typical in the field. It's one of the things that has people stuck. Alex Jenkins is a seasoned professional technician that sees mistakes as gifts. He's a master of bouncing back with a growth perspective. I've never met someone who's got more humility about his bad choices. He's a servant leader. Let's see where the work takes him. Thanks for joining me, Alex. Welcome to the podcast here.
Glad to be here.
Brought one of your old memorabilia. It's not actually yours, but I'm assuming that you probably can recognize this right here.
Definitely know that piece of hardware well.
Did you have one?
I did. Still have it.
How many cups of coffee you drank out of that thing?
100,000 probably.
Good stuff. I thought you'd get a kick out of it. I know my mechanic had one too, and I actually put a ding in it, and it didn't go too well for my day after that. I can tell you that much.
Sucks to be you.
Yeah, exactly. So, Alex, welder, pipe fitter. All of a sudden, you're running work. What was your what was your experience like back then? Did you have fun?
I loved it. I think one of the cool things for me is I'm still very passionate about this trade. Came up in it, enjoyed what I was doing. It's taking good care of me, taking good care of my kids, and it's been my life.
Is it more than a job for you?
It really is. It just gives me opportunities in life that I probably wouldn't have had otherwise.
You thought you'd be stuck behind that hood your whole life?
I did. I really did. But I decided, I wanted more from all different aspects.
Looking back at your career and where you're at now, did you get here alone, or was this a one-man show? Was this Alex Jenkins show, or did you have people help you along the way?
Oh, I had all kinds of people help me along the way. Even from the guy that got me into the trade.
That's where it started.
Played a very influential part in my life, and how I ended up on this path. And cool part of it today is me and his oldest son are still best friends. So
wow, it's definitely left an impression on you and your life. And
he, in fact, he commented to me last week, is like, I'm sure enjoying, our years together and, the ride and the journey that you've been on through all of this.
You ever screw anything up, man?
What didn't I screw up?
Well, I'll tell you what, if you what really sticks out in your career where something that you screwed up so bad, and I think it's fair to say that if you're not screwing something up, you might sound familiar. If you're not screwing something up, you ain't doing nothing.
I would say my worst screw up ever. I was still pretty new on retubing boilers. It was 150 horsepower tube boiler. When I looked at it on the back side of the boiler, I thought, man, the tubes are rolled this one way. And
explain it real quick. You say rolled some kind of way. A lot of people might not understand how the tubes work.
I thought the tubes were flare rolled on the ends, and no, they were bead rolled. There had just been so much erosion on the tubes that they looked like they had a sharp edge on them. Then we rolled it, tried to seal weld them, went bad. We had to cut out all the brand new tubes we just put in and retube it again.
How much did that cost you?
I don't know. It cost me a lot of pride, walking into my boss's office and saying, Larry, I screwed up.
So you actually walked in your boss's office and came clean?
Told him straight up, I screwed up. But the cool part of it, I got a raise out of it.
How did you get the raise? Maybe was it for being honest or what?
I don't know.
Wow.
I really don't know. But he certainly appreciated the fact that I just walked in there and, spilled my guts. Didn't try to blame anybody, or it was solely on me.
That's a key ingredient, isn't it?
It's hard, owning your mistakes like that.
I know looking back, I think, yeah, there's some times I know I didn't own my mistakes when I was beginning my career. And as I look back, I started to learn, yeah, if you own it, you, you cut out a lot of extra headaches.
Yeah, for sure. I've always had the mentality, if I go out troubleshoot something and I misdiagnose, I want to know about it because I want to know what I missed, what I did wrong, because I feel like that helps me grow as in my abilities. So yeah, tell me the truth. Truth doesn't hurt. Truth is kind.
Yeah, that's right. So bouncing back from that failure and that mistake, whatever you want to call it, what was that like for you? I mean, hey, I guess well you got the raise, so
Yeah.
I don't know if I guess your mind was like, well, shit, I guess I'll go out and screw more stuff up, get another raise. I mean, or what was it like? I mean, was it a kind of like a pause and then kind of a what was it?
It it was, made me stop and look like, hey, I really need to pay a little closer attention on details sometimes of things that I'm not familiar with. And because like I said, I was still relatively new on doing retube stuff. I just wasn't careful enough, just spend that other 5 minutes and making sure you know what you know.
Are you reteaching that characteristic, that quality?
I certainly try to instill that in people. you know um, if you make a mistake, I'm not going to beat you to death about it, and I don't hang on to it, because that's just part of life.
Right. So looking back at the younger version of Alex and the people that you're working with now, what's that message look like to them? I mean, how are you telling them now? You get a wealth of knowledge now. There's so many, you could save them a lot of pain. How are you delivering that?
It certainly, trying to teach, talk about things, talk about my experiences. You know, Somebody goes out, work on something that they've never touched before. So, hey, you might look at this, because this is a common problem with these. Or look at this. I had one of my guys sent me some pictures a little bit ago of a feed water tank. He's like, do you think we can fix this? I'm like, we can bubble gum it. That's about it. But
Bubble gum it.
yeah, that's,
Go ahead and touch on that for a minute.
no, it's bubble gum's about the only thing that's going to fix it because it can't be welded.
So the instances, but more so the characteristics. You highlighted, being honest, accountability, owning your mistakes, the the fact that when technicians are out there in the field and they're having a bad time, when you go through them streaks where it's like that merry-go-round, failure, failure, failure. What's that one thing that they need? What do they need out there?
Step back from it, keep your head clear, and give it another shot. The It's kind of like that old thing, the definition of an insanity. Keep trying it over and over and doing it the same way, you're still going to get the same results. So try something different. Reach out to somebody. Say, hey, I'm seeing this. What would you suggest?
I think trying something different is actually I like the way you put that. I think that's probably how you got to where you're at.
Yeah, oh, certainly. Of course, I'm very much a believer in growth mindset. It's every day is a learning opportunity, regardless of what we're doing.
Yeah. Did you ever think that you'd be where you're at today?
I never, honestly, I never in my wildest dreams imagined it. It never even hit my radar screen.
Wow. So if I'm hearing you, Alex, they need to get the hell out of their own way. Guys and girls in the field, just get out of their way. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, certainly. I'll take somebody with attributes over skills. I can teach skills. That's anybody. You can show me how to put this table together. You can show that to anybody. But if for some reason that one bolt doesn't fit in that one hole, how are they going to proceed with that? You know, are they going to freak out about it, say, "Oh, I give up, I quit," or are they going to go, maybe something's a little off? You know, step back, reassess, and go, okay, let's try it this way. You know, you can't let yourself. I kind of see it as getting into a rut. You know, when you keep following that same path every time. You know, there's got to be a better way.
Get out of that groundhog day.
Get out of that
right?
Groundhog Day. You know, this isn't Monday 5.0. You know, it's a new day, a new opportunity.
Yeah, you see that with a lot of people that you know, there's 10 different ways to do something. Your way isn't always the right way. Try it up, mix it up.
I I think one of the probably key things I've had over, I'd say, the last 5 years, had a first year apprentice. We were putting in two 500 horse steam boilers, and I told him how I wanted some piping run, and he stopped and looked at me. And mind you, some certain things in this kid's life that I had to deal with sometimes, and he looked at me and goes, "Well, what if we do this?" And I just looked at it and I go, "That's freaking genius." You know, kid that didn't really know that much about the trade, the industry yet, you know, still young and learning, but he took a different perspective of it than what I did. I'm like, whoo, you know, that was golden. You know, I've really hung on to that a lot, you know, because it just different set of eyes.
Yeah, different perspective.
Exactly.
So you speak about being this growth mindset. Has that always been your drive?
I
What started that?
I can't say that I've really always understood it. I don't quit. I don't give up. You know, uh, that's just part of who I am. I don't like failure. I'll sacrifice myself trying to make something work, but really understanding growth mindset and, you know, just the different things, of what made me the way I am. You know,
Well, what is growth mindset? I mean, like, give me the definition. Give me the definition that these people, these technicians, these guys, these girls, women, men out there, they're gonna go. That's what that is.
so I'll give you an example of a person with a fixed mindset. John McEnroe, great tennis player. But anytime John McEnroe failed at something, he always blamed somebody. Then you take another perspective of somebody like Michael Jordan. You know, I consider Michael Jordan to have a growth mindset because anytime he had a failure, he figured out a way to get around it. He, you know,
Look at the
man,
Pistons.
yeah, I mean, that man is, you know, just the consummate gentleman, hard worker. I mean, but he has that mindset that I will find a different way to make it work, you know, and just two simple athletes, you know, both the best at their games, but totally different perspectives.
You regret anything?
Probably some personal regret. Didn't always spend the kind of time with my kids when they were young that I should have. But I guess the flip side of that is now my kids as adults, they're very much the focus of my life. You know, they're got great relationships with all three of my kids, and they're my world. You know, learning to just be the supporter, the coach, the teacher, the leader that they need.
Any of them in the trade?
Nope. I have one that's a lineman, so that's about as close.
Climbing
close
climbing
to the
telephone
trades.
poles.
He got into it after he got out of the Navy. He was in the Seabees in the Navy, and then went, just decided, I like this, like hanging from poles, being out in the middle of nowhere, and he's making a pretty good living doing it.
I did a side job. Ashton was probably 7. He had pre-care and aftercare, right? And back then I was making good money, but ain't never enough money. You're always trying to make good money, right?
Sure.
You got bills, and Ashton, he had pre-care and aftercare, and I was doing a side job putting hand railing at a church. And so I was working late Monday through, it was like Thursday. I picked him up on that Friday. And I'll never forget, picked him up in my work truck. His feet are dangling off the front seat when I scooped him up. And he looks at me and he had a little raspy voice with a lisp. And he was like, "Good gosh, I didn't think I was going to see you all week, Dad." And it hit me though, man. I literally pulled the truck over and was like, "Hey, let me explain something, buddy. Like the lights, the food, the all these things, like, it costs money." And
Yeah.
but it's a fact of the matter is that a reality is we have a family and we have kids and we also have a job, career, and you're trying to find that balance. It's tough.
I think for me, the one thing that at least that I was fortunate enough in, my ex-wife was able to stay home with the kids, so my kids grew up with one parent,
Yeah.
pretty well always at home. So I guess for me, that was some of the trade-off in, working so much.
Mm-hmm.
There's certainly one of the things that I, now looking back, I see they didn't necessarily want anything. They just wanted my time,
Exactly.
and as I get older and I look at that, I'm like, that period of time just keeps getting smaller and smaller.
You don't get time back.
Oh,
You don't get time back.
can't trade time for anything.
Yeah.
It's that old trade-off, money for time or time for money. Which one is it?
Well, I know that your kids aren't in the trade, but I guess my time in the trade, I guess, did something because Ashton, my son, he's 20. He wants to be a chiller mechanic, so he got it. He got into the apprenticeship this year, and I look back and I'm like, I guess it did something.
I love it.
So yeah, no, it's good stuff.
It's always kind of cool. I think when we see our kids take a path and we see our kids succeed.
We just want them to be better than us, man.
Yeah.
That's it. Alex, and I don't know you that well. I know you. What's it been? 2 years?
Yeah, about that.
2 years. I never worked with you, and I'm sitting here, and you're a very compassionate person, very quiet, reserved. But there's some like the days of the coffee cups. There's something that comes with that era back then. Have you always been this way? You seem like I'm getting
Pretty-
a watered down version though. Like, is there?
I like watching people and listening.
Never got angry on the job because right now.
Oh no, I popped corks all the time.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, I think it's probably the redhead in me that you don't obviously can't hardly see anymore. Still got a little bit of red hair in the beard. But yeah, my hot-headed self, it wasn't always beneficial to me.
Ever cost you your job?
Fortunately, no. Or probably amazingly, no. But I can't tell you how many foremans I told that they were stupid to their face. And they just look at me like, "Did you really just say that?" And I'm like, "Yeah." But it is what it is.
Well, you've grown from those days, right? Obviously.
I hope. I mean, if somebody wants to tell me that I'm stupid to my face, okay, please explain to me. I'll try to be less stupid next time.
So someone starting out in the trade, you get a young person, young individual. What are you telling them? How are you telling them how to attack this trade? Because I tell you what, I like for myself, I look back and I remember thinking that, looking around in a mechanical room, on a roof, day in, day out, thinking to myself, is this it forever? This is it. This is what it's going to be like. And then I'm going to get my retirement one day, and hopefully I get to enjoy that retirement. Maybe with both my hips, maybe with both my knees, and
all digits,
all
still
digits. My eyesight. I know I'm deaf. I know that much.
attached. Yeah.
So, but what would you tell that person jumping into this industry?
Don't stop learning. Never stop. Keep learning something new every day, because this industry keeps changing, keeps evolving. I look at where it's come from. When I entered it almost 30 years ago. Now all the computer modeling you do, mechanical rooms. We'd run a line till it ran into something. Okay, offset it. Now everything's pre-planned because shouldn't run into stuff. Just so much technology to learn and take, use.
One word that describes the secret ingredient.
Drive.
Double down on that real quick.
The drive for more, the drive to know more, the drive to be more.
Can you teach that?
I think you can, but there's still has to be a little bit of that's innate. You have to want better for yourself. And that's part of the reason why I ended up in the trade, because I wanted better for myself.
Yeah, it started out with those toys that you saw at your buddy's house, right?
Exactly.
You wanted that, then you probably got some of those toys, and
I got some of those toys.
Hey, Alex,
Sir.
welder, worked on an oil rig, drilling, mechanical services foreman, chiller tech, boiler tech, service manager, project manager, operations manager, or director. Wow, all under the same trade?
Yep. Pretty fortunate in that aspect. I definitely have been given those opportunities for growth. It's, like I said, part of that is definitely things I never even imagined doing, but it's just that drive.
I hear this and I'm listening to your story and I'm starting to see this common theme, right? With every one of your little stories that you brought up past. You bet on yourself every day. An opportunity showed up, the train pulled up to your station, and it was one question: are you going to bet on yourself today? Because looking at the resume here, the different jobs, you don't go to school for that, and you don't know all of that. You actually have to jump on that train ride and go learn it.
Certainly been blessed with having a lot of good people in my life. They were great teachers, but part of that responsibility was on me to be a good student, to learn what they were trying to teach me. And I think I got part of it down. I can at least adjust the thermostat.
Hey, great conversation. I hope you enjoyed a little reminiscing with the old Stanley right there.
It's been a minute. Kind of makes me feel like I need to go home, dig mine out of the cabinet, and start carrying it to work again.
Thanks for coming, man. I really appreciate hearing your story, brother.
I appreciate it too.
Thanks.